Hi, so for today we're going to continue our discussion all about calculator techniques for engineering board exam. And at this point in time, we have already discussed on the previous video about simplifying expressions and evaluating a function using our calculator technique. But for today's video, we're going to study about the calculator technique for solving an equation, solving for x. Okay, so we start with the basics, solving for x, and then solving simultaneous equations, etc., etc. For this video, we're going to solve a basic equation wherein we're going to solve for one unknown given an equation. Okay, and using the shift solve properly, because some of the students are actually using the shift solve incorrectly, so that the answer that they are getting is actually not really accurate or not really correct. Okay, so in calculator techniques, it is a must that if we are solving an equation and if we are going to use shift solve, of course, we must give the calculator a value of x that is on the choices. So that because if we use shift solve, the calculator will be using an initial value of x to start. Okay? So if that value of x is really, really far from the answer, so the calculator might give a value of x that is not actually what we are looking for. Okay, so it is a must that if you use shift solve, and of course we have choices. Okay, give the calculator an initial value of x that is on the choices, that is included in the choices. Okay, so that we will be able to get the correct answer. Okay, so this is a very basic video, so I know some of you have already know how to use this, but it's quite uh, good to review or to recall or to refresh our mind. So if you don't know anything, don't worry, just sit back and I will be teaching you how to use your shift solve or solving for x in an equation properly. Okay, so let's get started. So for our first problem, okay, for our first problem, we have find the value of x in quantity 3 raised to 5, quantity multiplied by the quantity 9 raised to x. Okay, 9 raised to 6 equals 3 raised to 2x. So our goal here is actually to find the value of x. So we can solve this using algebra, of course. But if you don't know, we will be relying on the calculator techniques. So the very first thing that we're going to do here is using shift solve, we can write the equation in our calculator. Okay, so close. And then multiplied by 9 raised to 6. Then we have parentheses. And how do we write or type the equal sign? So for this model of your calculator, uh, we will be first pressing alpha and then the calc. So as you can see in this calc, we have a red equal sign here, which indicates that if we press alpha and then we press calc, equal sign would appear. Okay, so again, without pressing the alpha, okay, let's repeat that, without pressing the alpha. Okay, so the calculator will just calculate this, okay? Or you would not be able to uh, insert the equal sign. So we press first alpha, then the calc. Okay, so let me just rewrite that again. 9 raised to 6, and then quantity, then alpha, that calc, and then we have 3 raised to 2, then alpha x. So the very first thing we can do is to what? Okay, shift solve. Okay, so we have to shift. Okay, press the shift, and then this calc. As you can see, you have a yellow or gold button here that says solve. So you should press shift first for us to perform shift solve. Okay, and then press the calc. So what will happen? Solve for x. The calculator, when this appear in your calculator, the calculator is actually asking you a value or an initial value, okay, that the calculator would start calculating. Okay? So The rule is we have our choices. So you can choose any of the choices because the choices are actually near to each other. It's actually near. Okay? So in value, 8, 8.5, 7, 7.5. So I'm going to choose C, for example. Okay? 7. Okay? So and press equal sign. Your calculator solve a value of 8.5. Okay? So the answer to this is letter B, obviously. But just to make sure, we can use another value in the choices. So we have, again, press that equal sign for you to be sure. Okay, let's say 7.5. Okay, we enter 7.5. And still, it's 8.5. Again, if you want to be sure, for letter A, okay, let's use 8. Okay, equal sign again. The calculator is asking us for a value, initial value of x. So we have 8. So again, the value is 8.5. So our answer here should be 8.5. Okay, so that is our answer. So another technique that we can use, okay, is that actually we go back to the equation. Okay, we can go back by just pressing this button, left button here in our replay. Okay, we can replace the equal sign by a colon, alpha and then colon here. And what we're going to do is to solve the value of this and the value of this. And if they are equal, then that should be the answer. So let's try, okay? We're going to calculate. So we did not shift solve, okay? So we're going to calculate both this side and this side. And if they are equal, by giving a value of x, then that is the correct answer. So the calculator is actually asking us what value of x we should use for this equation. So let's try 8. So we have 8, okay? The very first thing that would appear is the answer of this left side of the equation, okay? And if we press equal sign furthermore, we can see that this is different value from our previous value. Okay, so we have 129,140,163. It means that that is not the correct answer. Okay, if you want to not to use the shift solve. Okay, so another one, press equal sign again, and the calculator will ask another value. So let's try 8.5. Okay, so the value of this is fixed. Okay, because this has no value of x. This is a fixed number. So this is the value when we use 8.5. This is a fixed number because it does not have any x. So another equal sign is the same. So definitely the answer should be 8.5. And if we use the other values such as the choices, letter C, okay, the answer would not be the same. 7.5 because the answer here is really the 8.5. Okay, so let's go now to our problem number 2. So find the solution of, or the solution of 7x minus 5 quantity x plus 1 equals 2 times 3 minus x, quantity 3 minus x minus 5. Okay, this is very easy because this we can solve x, okay? Isolate x on the other side of the equation and calculate the value of x by simple algebra. Okay? So, but if you want to use your calculator, okay, if you forget your basic algebra, which is very dangerous, okay, especially when this kind of equation. So, usually the students are actually having a mistake on the sign, okay, when transposing. Okay, so we are going to write this in our calculator. So we have 7 alpha x minus 5 quantity x plus 1. Okay, close the quantity. It's very important. So if you forgot this parenthesis, your calculator will have a syntax error. So alpha for the equal sign, alpha calc for the equal sign. So we have 2 parenthesis 3 minus alpha x, okay, and then minus 5. So the thing is, we can use shift solve, okay? So we can use also the colon method. Depends on your preference. But for to be more accurate, okay, we can use the shift solve, okay? So shift solve, for example, we can also use shift solve for a second degree, but take note that if you have an x squared plus 2x plus 1, it has two roots. So if we shift solve, one root only the calculator will only give us one root. So the other root we cannot find, okay, depending on the given initial x. So let's go back to this problem. So we perform shift solve, shift, and the calc. So let's enter any of this. So we can enter 2/3, okay? So the answer is 1.5, okay? 1.5. So in fraction, that is actually 3 halves, letter C. So let's try another value of x that is close to our answer, negative 3 halves. Let's try letter B. So still 1.5, because 1.5 and negative 1.5 are not so far values with each other. So let's try negative 2/3. So still, that is 1.5. So our answer here should be letter C. Okay. So let's try the colon. Okay, let's replace this with colon. And then we calc. Okay, no need for shift, just calc. So the calculator will ask us the value of x. So let's enter 1.5. Okay. So the value of this left side of the equation is negative 2. So if this is equal, this left side is equal with the right side, the value should be negative 2 also, if we choose the right value of x. So again, 1.5, so that's negative 2. And then the other side of the equation, it's negative 2. Therefore, 3 halves is the answer. Okay? So let's go now to problem number 3. Okay, problem number 3. Solve for the x in the equation logarithm of x squared minus log of 5x equals log 20. Okay, so we can use shift solve. Okay, the logarithm is located here, okay, in this side, but it's understood that if you don't have any base here, it's always base 10. Okay, so because there is another base. Okay, log function here in our calculator, we can use base 5, okay, base 2, okay, base 3, okay. But in this question, see, it's base 10. So we simply put log, okay, and then alpha x squared minus log, again, of 5 alpha x equals alpha calc, okay, the log of 20. Okay, so again, shift solve, whatever the values, what values can we input there? They have a quite great difference. Okay, so but I can choose 20. I can try it all. So 100 is the answer. So even if I try value of x for 10 for choices, so still 100. So if I try 2, still 100. And if I try 100, still, it's 100. So, it's no question that the answer here should be 100, which is letter T, by using the proper shift solve. And again, I will try to reiterate this, that whenever you use shift solve, please use, okay, the initial value for solving the shift solve in the multiple choice. Okay? So, okay. So let's go now to problem number 4. Pretty basic again. So the problem number 4, it says if 4 raised to 2x plus 1 equals 1024, find the value of 4x. Now, this is different from the previous problems wherein we are only asked to find for the value of x. But in this case, we are asked to find the value of 4 raised to x, not the x alone. So we are going first to find the value of x by this equation using shift solve. So we have to input that in our calculator, 4 raised to 2 alpha x plus 1. Okay, press this so that you can exit from the exponents. And then alpha calc for equal sign. So we have 1024. And then we can shift calc or shift solve. Okay. So the value, let's try 4. That's 2. The answer is 2. So if we input value of 8 for letter C, that is still 2. If we input value 16, that is still 2, and we have to continue. This is what I'm trying to say. We have the left minus right. Okay? So that if we enter a number, okay, as a great difference, on the correct answer, we'll be encountering this. Okay? So if we still continue, still we have 2. Okay? So, and if we shift solve using 2, obviously that would be 2. So, the value of x is 2. The answer is not letter A because the problem is actually asking not the value of x, but the value of 4 raised to x. Okay? So, we know the value of x is 2. So, we now calculate 4 raised to 2. Okay? So, we have 4 raised to. Okay, we can click answer because the recorded answer is 2. Okay? The very recent answer is 2, so that it would be 16. So our answer here is again not 2 but 16 because we are asked to find the value of 4 raised to x. Okay? So that is our answer for this problem. How about number 5? It's very easy. Again, this is still a typical problem. So we have if 9 raised to x equals 5, find the value of 3 raised to 4x. So same process, 9 raised to x, alpha calc for the equal sign equals 5. And if once we find the value of x, okay, we will substitute the value of x here in the equation or in the expression to evaluate the value of this. So, of course, okay, what can we do? Okay, we have shift solve. So, enter any of the uh, value of the choices. Let's say 5. So, 0.732. Okay, so for us to be sure, again, shift solve for a value of 15, 0.732. Just remember 0.732. 15, that is still 0.732. So, if we wish, okay, there's a great chance that this is the answer. Let's try again 25. So, but we are actually uh, having a range of value. If this appears, L minus R is not still equal to 0, you press continue equal sign. So until such then that L minus R would be 0, so you still arrive at 0.732. So this is the answer for the value of x. Now, that is not the correct answer. Okay? That is not what we are trying to find in the problem, but the value of 3 raised to 4 raised to x. 3 raised to 4 times x. So, what are we going to do is simply our answer is recorded already from our shift solve. So we can use this instead of writing the whole number. Or you can also shift store it into a, x, or any variable. But since this is only the last step that we had, so we can use 3 raised to 4 answer. Okay? So the answer that is stored here is the answer that what we get on the shift solve. So, and finally, the answer is 25. Okay? So the answer should be 25. It's pretty easy, right? It's just a matter of practicing your skills in calculator. So once you know this, sir, do we have a problem like this in board exam? Actually, yes. There are some problems that are basic. Okay? So if you don't know, if that basic, you don't know how to solve, okay, using calculator techniques or whether manually, okay, so we cannot answer that correctly. There is a 25% chance that you would only get the answer correct if that is a 4 multiple choice type. So again, for problem number 6, it's very easy, right? So we have 16. Solve for x. Finally, just solve for x. 16 raised to negative alpha x plus 1. And press this right side of the replay to escape or to escape exponential. So we have alpha equals 8. So shift solve. So whatever the value that the calculator will solve here would be the answer because we are actually finding for x. So 1/4, okay, 1/4. So 0.25, which is actually 1/4 also. So for to be sure, solve another value of x, let's say 2, which is not far from 0.25. That is still 0.25. 0.5 for 1/2. The answer is still 1/4 or 0.25. So let's try 3. Okay? It's still 0.25. So the answer here in fraction is 1/4. Okay, it's very easy. It's very easy. Okay? So, for number 7, okay? Solve for x of 3 raised to x multiplied by 5 raised to x plus 1 equals 6 raised to x plus 2. Okay, we can also use shift solve with this. Okay, so when we are dealing with decimals, just like this, okay, the calculator is so sensitive, okay, in calculating this. So for this problem, I advise you to use just the shift solve and not the colon one, because it involves a very small discrepancies, I think. Okay, it's very and has many decimal places. So if that's the case, we should use a shift solve. Okay, so let's put quantities in here, even though the problem did not said. Okay, so just to be sure, we know that this is a multiplication. Okay, 5 raised to x plus 1, then right side of the replay to escape or to escape from the uh, exponent. So, and then quantity, and then we have alpha calc for equal sign. Then we have 6 raised to alpha x plus 2. And again, you're good to go. We can shift solve and the calculator will ask us an initial value. So since this has small discrepancies, we can start with letter A. So 2.145, oops, 1455. So, okay, the answer is 2.1544, which is not the same as letter A, which is letter D actually. So let's try again letter B just to be sure. So we have 2.1445 equals, that's 2.1544 still letter D. So for us to be sure, let's try letter C, 2.4154. Okay. Oh, it's still letter D. So, just two multiple choices are enough. Sometimes to actually see the answer. Sometimes one. If you just want to make sure, just input all of this. So, and the calculator will actually find the value of x, the correct answer. So we have 2.1544 for this problem. So the answer should be letter D. It's very easy, right? So because it's algebra, it's simply linear, okay, x. So but we will be dealing also with higher mathematics such as the calculus, derivatives, integrals, differential equations, and advanced engineering mathematics. So just tune in for that calculator techniques. Okay, so and this problem number 8, that involves logarithm. So solve for x for the 2 log of x with base 4 minus log of 9 with base 4 equals 2. So this is what I'm trying to tell you, that this logarithm has a base other than 10, which is 4. Okay? So we have 2. We will not be using this, but rather this with the base. Okay? This logarithm here. Okay? So just click that. So we have 4. Then input x here, alpha x. Okay, and then we have log minus log still of 9 with base 4. Okay, so this is the 9, base 4. And then equals alpha calc equals 2. Then shift solve, shift calc. Okay, so since we are only finding for x, so whatever the value that calculator would solve, that is the value of x. So again, give an initial value of x in the choices. So we have 12. Let's try 12. So the answer is 12. So let's try 11. So the answer is still 12. Let's try 10. So the answer is still 12. Let's try 13. So the answer is still 12. So technically the answer here in problem number 8 should be equal to 12. Okay, for problem number 9, here is solve for x of logarithm of 81 raised to x with base 3 equals 16. Same process. We click log with base here in our calculator. We enter the base, which is 3. And then we have 81 raised to alpha x, and that is equal to 16. So we have alpha calc for equal sign, and then 16. So shift solve for any values of here. In our calculator, let's try 1. Initial value. The answer is 4. Again, try letter B. The answer is still 4. Try letter C. The answer is still 4. So the answer for this easy problem is letter D. Okay? So let's go now to problem number 10. Okay? So problem number 10. Okay. So this would be our last problem. So solve for x. I mean, this should be solved for a. Okay? This should be solved for a, not x. Okay? So let me just rephrase that. So we have, here you go, solve for a. Okay? Solve for a. Then we have log of 2. Log of a plus 2 with the base of 2 plus log of a minus 2 with the base of 2 equals 5. So what are we going to do? Same process. Since we can, in shift solve, we can replace this variable a by x. Okay? So we have log of base 2 of the x plus 2. Again, we replace the value of a, okay, the variable a in our calculator with x so that we can perform shift solve. Plus log of a minus 2, in this case, alpha x minus 2 with the base 2, okay, equals 5. So shift solve from the choices, initial value. So we have 2, okay, it's 6, okay, the value of x here, or the a in our problem, is 6. So we have 4, still enter 4, that is still 6. Enter 8, that is still 6. So the answer for this problem is letter C, which is 6. So, thank you so much for listening. Again, this is Engineer Abat. I hope you learned something about the calculator technique. Just tune in and subscribe if you are new to my channel. If you want to pass the board exam, okay, in your mathematics category, then this is the right channel for you. So, as I will be uploading more of the calculator techniques. So, again, thank you so much for listening. This is Engineer Abat. God bless us all.